London has been good to me this time around. Things were bound to change when it was found. Sugar never tasted sweeter on my lips. My heart is now intact, and I can find no rest. This is love, yeah, love. Never known true love before. Seen so many counterfeits that left me on the floor. This is love, yeah, love. All will come to those who wait. Time it cannot know the bounds, and era don't dictate.
Well, very good afternoon to you, and welcome to the 3-year anniversary show of Xandermonium, the talk show that gets you talking. I'm Xander Gibb,
And I'm Tyhe Egar. Hello.
and coming up on today's show, we will be taking a look back over the last 3 years with our very special guests, the Politichicks, Dr. Gina Loudon and Anne-Marie Murrell, comedian Sarah Boyles, and singer Colton Ford. More to come in a mere moment. You can interact with us during the show in the chat room at the bottom of the show page. Keep scrolling down. If it's not letting you comment, you have to join with either Facebook or Twitter or after your firstborn child, something like that. It'll get you in on the conversation anyway. You can also call us on 347-884-9061. That's 347-884-9061. You can comment on any of the topics or start your own, or you can just call to wish us a happy anniversary, or you can bring us champagne or anything like that. I'm sure Ty and I will be happy to partake. You can tweet us as well. My Twitter handle is at Xander Gibb, XanderGibb, capital X, capital G. Don't forget the all-important @ symbol. You can tweet Ty. Ty's Twitter handle is at Tyhe Paul Egar, TYHEPAULEGAR, capital T, capital P, capital E. Tweet me or Ty if you're too shy, and we will make your point for you. Oh, yes, indeed, we will. There's still some time to vote in our poll at xandergibb.com. Now, even Joe Biden, though Joe Biden has said he won't run for president, do you think he will actually run? What say you? Go and vote right now at xandergibb.com, or give us a call on this subject or absolutely anything else. 347-884-9061. That's 347-884-9061. Thanks to all of you that tuned in to episode 2.1 of Xandermonium, the TV show, last night with our simulcast. I don't know if it's simulcast or simulcast, but it was also on the website, and it's still there. If you missed it, go watch it now, and it's also on YouTube. While I get my breath back, Ty. Welcome back, Ty. Happy anniversary to you, because this is just as much your anniversary as it is mine. How the heck are you?
Well, thank you very much, and happy anniversary to you, darling. But actually, do you know what? Really, congratulations to you. 3 years, honey. You've made this show what it is, and I'm so honoured, really, and thrilled to be here. Because 2 years, I think I've been with you, haven't I? Now,
yes,
as a co-host, but I started as a guest. But yeah, 3 years.
Yes.
For you. But yeah. So congratulations to you, and congratulations to us on 3 years. Yeah, it's amazing. But I just want to get that in. I have to, we have to certainly honour you and your amazing achievement. But yeah, here we are. 3 years. Who knew? They said it couldn't.
And they said they would give it 6 months. They said we'll give it 6 months, and Xandermonium will be gone. And I don't know. In a way, I was thinking about this today, Ty. That I think sometimes when people tell me I'm not going to be able to do something or it's not going to last, it really makes me more kind of committed to making sure that it does. And we've had our ups and downs as a show. We've had our problems. But sure. I think what's kept us going, and lots of people have told me this too, is that we've always had a lot of variety. We've always had interesting guests. We don't try and tell people what to think, but we offer kind of several possibilities to people rather than saying this is the only way. What do you feel has, apart from your sparkling wit, of course, what do you feel has contributed to the longevity of the show? Even
I think we've always just been honest. I don't think, because as you're saying, I don't think we've ever tried to sparkle it up. Actually, I don't think we've ever tried any clever gimmicks. I think we've just been ourselves. Anything that's truly bothered us or upset us in the world, we've brought to people's attention, or we've brought to the attention of others for people on the show. We've stuck to our guns. We've been honest about our beliefs and what we think about the world. We've never backed down from a fight, and I think that's what people appreciate, or I hope that's what people appreciate. They seem to keep coming back, and certainly when people talk to me at my end of the world about it, that's what they appreciate, or that's what they have something to say about, and that's what they want to talk about, and people know our feelings about things, and I think that's why people are still listening.
Absolutely. And we have covered a variety of topics, for everything from drugs to gay rights issues to health, infidelity. We even did a show on, we've covered like most topics. I mean, I can't think of anything we've not covered, really.
Not really. I think the one that sticks out in my mind more than any was the one that we ended up doing accidentally because of what was happening to you, was the one on bullying.
Yeah.
When I think Sarah called in, wasn't it? That was one of the most impacted shows that we ever did, and how much response we got to that, which was fantastic, but also heartbreaking to know that was still going on. But I think how much of it is actually going on out there. That show, I think, will always stay with me, and just how emotional that got, and the response we got afterwards and during as well, and the responses we got afterwards as well. I think that one will always stay with me above a lot. There have been happier ones, obviously.
Yes, and I think that I think we've actually done a lot on bullying. I mean, some shows will only tackle a subject only once, but I think there are some things that sadly never go away, and so I think it's imperative to kind of keep reminding people of what is going on out there and reminding them of the help that is available, because I've always thought that Xandermonium was not just about entertainment, but it's also about education and sharing. And even the people that come along in the chat room, we share their thoughts, for people that are not in the chat and stuff. And I think that it's imperative to do so. I always wanted the show to be a community. When I first started it, that was one of my main aims. And it was hard. And sometimes it's hard to get guests. Sometimes it's hard to be able to come up with fresh subject matter and all of these things, but we've sustained it, and 3 years is an amazing milestone for any kind of media. I think. I mean, will we be here in another 3 years? I don't know. But it's certainly been stepping stones for other things. And I know we've both done other things during that time. You've written a book. I wrote a book. You released an album, and we're going to hear some of your music also later on in the show. And you're actually working on another album right now, aren't you?
Well, we're about to start, because that was I forgot to say. I am. Neil and I are getting back together as Farewell to Alchemy. But that's what I'd like. Yeah, thanks for reminding me about that. I'm getting old, people, by the way. I've gone old on the Xandermonium show as well. We are getting back
much
together.
Much older than me, I have to say.
Yes,
sorry,
hello everybody. Xander is younger than me. But we are getting better. We are getting together to write a second album, but I would like to say to everybody who bought the first album and supported us or streamed it, whatever you did, because I know a lot of people streamed it on Spotify, thank you for that, and also bought it. So for those of you who did, thank you very much. But if you did buy it, keep hold of it and treasure it, because we've withdrawn it now. You can't buy it anymore. The only song that's available to buy anymore is the one you're going to hear at the end of the show tonight, called Gravity. The rest of it we've withdrawn, and it will never be released again in the format that you have it in. So if I die tomorrow, it'll become worth a lot of money. It's now a collector's edition. because we decided that's what we were going to do with it. So the new material, when it's released, will be a completely different style, and I'm using my voice in a completely different way for the new one as well. So yes, we're getting together and writing the second album. I'm not going to tell you the title yet. You know the title, obviously, Xander, but I'm not going to tell people the title yet.
I do.
So yes, we're doing that, and I'm finally kind of back into the second book as well. So, and as we speak, of course, I am now a fully qualified personal trainer.
Absolutely. So if you're in Glasgow, make sure you and you're looking for a personal trainer, make sure you look up Tyhe. He is a celebrity personal trainer. So make sure you get in touch with him on Facebook or Twitter to do so. Tyhe, didn't you tell me your album was going to be called None of That Sam Smith Girly Crap? Is that right?
Yeah, well, legally I don't think I'd get away with that. But yes, actually it would just be, visualize Punch, and I would just have a picture of Sam Smith's head on the floor. But,
not we're violent here at Xandermonium, but there are a few people we would like to slap, and Sam Smith is one of them. And if you've listened to the show before, you'll know why.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of my posts this week, he said something else ridiculous on Facebook this week, and my comment was, the only time I would stop punching this prick is to take meal breaks. That will be my only swear word on the show today, promise. Although Colton's on later, so it's anybody's guess. But the man infuriates me. And people keep saying to me, oh, he's young, and I said, well, then somebody should stop him speaking. Let him sing if he must, but stop him speaking, because he just says the most ridiculous things. And now he's saying he wants to be a gay spokesperson, and I haven't met a gay person yet who wants him to speak on their behalf.
No.
So, Sam, if you're listening, shut up.
Well, someone asked me if I wished I could sing as well as Sam Smith, and after I'd stopped laughing, because this is the thing. Just because you've sold albums doesn't mean that you're a better singer than anybody than anyone else. Because the thing is that being a good singer is not just about being able to sing. It's about having range, and this singer has no range. I'm sorry.
Well,
the guy has no range.
But also, I was saying, somebody said to me as well, he said, oh, he's got 2 Guinness World Records now. I said, so is the fattest woman on the planet. What's that got to do with anything?
Leave my sister out of this.
But he has got but we've got to be fair, right, because we've just said everything about Xandermonium is balanced. So he has now got 2 world records. I can't remember what they're for. I'm assuming they've got to be something to do with music, unless one of them is the most stupid comments on the planet. And his Bond theme is the first Bond theme ever to get to number 1. So there you go. Because surprisingly, by the way, yes, ladies and gentlemen who are listening, there's never been a number 1 Bond theme before, which really surprised me. And he's got the first number 1. I also think it's the worst song as well. But
not even Diamonds Are Forever. I thought Diamonds Are Forever got to number 1.
No, I thought Shirley had got to number 1, but no, it's the first number 1 Bond theme apparently.
You practiced saying that, didn't
even
you?
Adele. Well, the first Shirley.
Shirley.
Shirley got to number 1. But no, and even Adele. I thought, Adele, who at the time, was massive. But no, even Adele didn't manage.
She's lost a lot of weight now, though, hasn't she? With
no, she's huge. No. Not from the video I saw. I mean, the song is stunning, as you come to expect. But from the video I saw, unless she's wearing an incredibly padded jacket, no, she's not lost any weight at all. She's still beautiful.
I thought she'd lost, but she does. I think she has an incredible voice. Are you going to be watching the Amy Winehouse movie that's coming out? I'm looking forward to seeing it. You're not? Why not?
No, I'm not remotely interested. I didn't think she was particularly talented, and I don't need to know that her family let her down badly because I watched it happen in front of me. I watched it unfold in front of my eyes. Her family gave her no support whatsoever. They were only interested in the money, and as far as I'm concerned, in my opinion, they let her die.
Wow.
But no, I couldn't stand her voice. It drove me nuts.
Wow, that's interesting. I would have thought she would have been someone that you thought was a good singer, but there you go. Taste is relative, isn't it? Some people think I have an amazing voice, but other people are like, I don't think you're a very good singer, and I'm like, which Harry clinic are you booked in at?
but that's how you and I originally came to work together. Because when you said, I'd heard you sing, and you said, "Would you like to work together?" And I walked straight onto stage with that. I love your voice. I always have. So you get no argument from me. But I've people have said to me before, "I don't really like Xander," and I've kind of looked at them and gone, "Really? Are you a little bit deaf?" But then I genuinely had a guy stand in front of me one night and said, "I don't know how you can listen to Annie Lennox, the woman she couldn't hit a note in a bar in a firing range." So
wow.
Where do you go with that? Now I can understand people saying, "Oh, I don't like her voice," but to say that she can't sing. So you're right. People are different. But I know I couldn't listen to Amy Winehouse's voice. It went through me. But then I think that Diana Ross sounds like somebody scraping the nails down the blackboard as well. So take from that what you will.
Yeah, I think taste is very relative, and when it comes to music, I think some no disrespect to Yoko Ono, she's a friend, she follows me on social media and stuff, but I don't really think that she should be classified as a singer. But other people think she's amazing.
She couldn't carry a tune in a bucket, so it's just scary.
Yeah, it is definitely a worry. Some of what kind of touts itself as talent, but
then I
what
suppose
you're going to do.
I suppose it's art, isn't it? And everybody's art is viewed differently through everybody's eyes. And thankfully, everybody should. Having said what I've said about Sam Smith, I wouldn't rush on stage and stop him singing. I would like to gag him because he's saying just the most stupid things. He needs to shut up. But as far as his voice, people love it. Everybody should be able to sing. Everybody should be able to express themselves.
Yes.
So but also obviously then that means that I have a right to reply. So, but of course they have a right to reply to me. So feel free, people. You can find me on Twitter. I am not afraid to answer back, and I have said this many times to the Westboro Baptist Church, but they don't seem to want to reply to me.
No, one of them started following me, which last year, which I thought was a bit eerie.
You've arrived.
Yeah, but I wasn't gonna. I definitely wasn't gonna back down from them because my opinion is the same yesterday. Well, no, that's not true. I have evolved on a lot of issues, but some things I'm not gonna change about. Some things I'm just gonna. I'm gonna kind of remain, and one of the things is regarding the Westboro Baptist Church. I can't subscribe to hate wrapped up in religion.
No.
In any way, shape, or form. It just does not. It does not work for me. But I think that anyone listens to the show will get that because there's been a lot of talk in the country, in America of late, about if people change their position on issues, does that make them, dishonest or whatever? But I think everybody should be able to evolve. But if they're evolving for a reason, then one wonders why. I have to interject a little because our guests have arrived, so let me bring them on if I can get the cue prompter to work. Okay, so our first guests at the Xandermonium 3-year anniversary party are two of the Politichicks, Dr. Gina Loudon, host of America Trends, and Anne-Marie Murrell, editor-in-chief at the Politichicks. Both best-selling authors, and I'm proud to state they are friends of the show and friends of mine. So welcome back to the show. I'm not sure who this is. I'm not sure if it's Gina or Anne-Marie, but welcome back to the show. Who's this?
This is Anne-Marie. Hi, Xander.
Hi, Anne-Marie. You're live on Xandermonium with myself and Tyhe. It's a pleasure to have you.
Hi.
Hi.
So
Happy to be here. I am at a place called Riley's Farm right now. It's crazy, and I just got here. I'm supposed to dress in a pre-revolutionary costume and stomp grapes today.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. So, what do they do? Do they make you wash your feet? Do you have to wear like foot gloves or foot coverings, or what's the procedure with that?
You probably wouldn't want to drink the wine if you knew how we do this. There's a little tub right before you start stomping, and it's no soap or anything. You just kind of rinse your feet off, and then you just step in there and you stomp and squish and Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I'm
don't-
going to drink the wine from last year.
No, definitely not. But maybe this is all for maybe that end of it is all for show, and maybe they don't use that method for making wine particularly. So I want to ask you first of all, Anne-Marie, about your book, What Women Really Want, that you wrote with Gina and Morgan. Now that's become a bestseller. How amazing is that?
Yeah. Oh, it's been so much fun, and it came out last year. It's still doing so well, and we continue to go all over the United States, just promoting it and talking about it. It's been really fun, and we're going to start working as soon as possible on our second book too. So I'm out of breath. I'm walking right now.
No problem.
Walking.
That brings me on to my next question, because lots of people have already been saying, and Tyhe and I are both authors, and we wrote our first books last year too, and everybody's saying, when's your next book coming out? But tell me, Anne-Marie, when did you get the time to write? Because I know that you're probably a lot busier than I am. You're always on some TV show or another. You're always writing a column or editing or doing your website or whatever.
I know.
Where do we find the time to do all of these things? I mean, it's crazy.
That's a good question. I don't know. It's so hard. I spend pretty much 24/7 every day of the year working. You know how it is, Xander. I mean, it's like working on the website and the book and everything that we do politically, and it is so hard. It's really hard to just to manage time. And even like right now on Saturday, I'm doing this as kind of a promotional thing for Politichicks, and then on the radio with you. So
yes,
it's every single day.
I can totally concur. I worked yesterday, so I was up from 6 a.m. We had the first episode of the TV show last night, which I had to sit and promote while it was going on and make sure it was live on the website. And then I was on Joe Messina's show at 10:15. So, when people say about downtime, I'm like, what is this downtime that that people talk about? But another thing I want to ask you about is you were also with the wonderful and gorgeous Dean Cain recently, filming the Gosnell movie. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, and I was in Oklahoma. I was actually speaking at a big event, Oklahoma. I was on my way home. I was getting ready to fly back to L.A., and Nick Searcy, the director, who's a friend of mine, he called and he said, I didn't know you were in Oklahoma. You need to get over here and be in my movie. And I'm like, well, I'm on my way to the airport. So I said, I'm so sorry. I'm leaving. And then the very next phone call was Anne McElhaney, who's also my friend, and she's the producer, creator of the movie. And she said, turn around and come back. So I stayed a couple of extra days. I'm playing a political reporter. I only have a few lines, but it was enough to get me back in the Screen Actors Guild, which is so crazy. I moved to California to be an actress. And then I was out.
And they're typecasting you, Anne-Marie, aren't they? Let me stop you for 1 second, because I think Gina is here now. Let me just make sure this is this the fabulous Dr. Gina Loudon?
Hi, Xander. It is. How are you?
We are fabulous. Welcome to Xandermonium, Gina. You're live with myself and Tyhe, and obviously the fabulous Anne-Marie Murrell. Welcome to our anniversary show.
Hey, congratulations on that, Xander. So happy for you about that.
Thank you. So we've already talked a bit about the best-selling book, but what I really want to get from you both is this has obviously been a very interesting week in politics with the Dem debate last week and the Benghazi investigations this week. What the heck is going on with this country, Dr. Gina?
Well, it's interesting. This was a week where it felt like we had to give it to the establishment in a lot of ways. Of course, the Lois Lerner not being indicted, like what the heck, after she admitted that what she did was wrong, essentially, and apologized that she shouldn't have used her office that way, and then they turn around and they don't indict her. That was just one thing to kind of add to the Hillary Clinton, of course, those ridiculous hearings where there were so many times in there where she was so bizarre. And with my background in psychology, Xander, I have to tell you, her body language, it told volumes about where she really is in this whole thing. This woman is as guilty as sin, and yet it just seems like sometimes the Republican establishment, whomever, just doesn't really have the gumption to get the job done. They should have been screaming about the lowest learner thing, Xander, but they sure should have been causing a lot more pain in Hillary's life this week, because she was just so red-handed and all that. And then what was the third thing? There was one third thing that I thought just kind of you had to chalk it up to the establishment this week. Oh, the speakers thing with Paul Ryan. I don't know how in the world Freedom Caucus is ever going to support him, but you know, this is where we are. So it's interesting, though, if you just look back at the last several months in politics, you have to tip your hat to one person who has absolutely changed the game of politics for so many weeks now that we took it so personally this week, Xander, when everything was all about the establishment, and that is, of course, Donald Trump. Without Donald Trump, I don't think that Boehner would have been toppled. Without Donald Trump, I don't think that they would have even even had some of the arguments they've had from the conservative perspective, the airtime it's gotten. And so I do think there are some good things happening in politics, but this week felt like a small step backwards.
But you've championed Donald Trump from day one, Gina. Is he the real deal, and is he the whole package? Because I have lots of reservations about Donald Trump. I don't know about everybody else, but I still can't buy it from him.
You know, I'm not sure it matters, because he's serving such a delicious purpose for those of us who would like to see somebody bona fide in there. And that is what I said about bucking the establishment at every turn and leaving them no options. I mean, let's not forget, this whole thing started with the establishment trying to bully him out of the race, and he was like, no way. And so the reason I've been a champion of Trump isn't necessarily because I think he's the best choice for president. I've not endorsed anyone, nor will I, until I really see what the field is going to do. But the reason is because he has buffered people like Ted Cruz, who would have been crucified by now by the press. Ted Cruz would have been marginalized completely out of the race. We would never have seen Bush at these record low numbers that he's at right now. Bush was the chosen child, let me assure you. And Trump changed that. And we have him to thank for that. So does that mean that he deserves to be president? I don't know. He has a lot to prove to me too, Xander. But it does mean that he's changed the game, and thank God, because we've all been trying to do this.
Hey,
what
guys,
say you, Anne-Marie?
I'm going to have to go, Xander. I'm so sorry.
No
I'm
problem.
here at the grape vat, and I'm about to have to change and throw on my stuff and jump in the grapes.
Don't forget to share pictures, Anne-Marie, but tell people where they can find you on social media before you go, Anne-Marie.
Oh, of course, at PoliticchicAM on Twitter and Anne-Marie Murrell on Facebook and on Politichicks.com. And Xander, congratulations. I am so happy for you.
Thanks so
I'm
much,
proud of you
Anne-Marie.
every single day. All right.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Love you,
and back at you.
Bye.
Bye.
So we've got you for a couple more minutes, Gina. I also kind of just wanted to talk. We talked a little bit on your show the other day about the Dem debate. But what kind of farce was that, really? I mean, you know, I likened it to the Muppet movie, and, you know, as I said, I was watching it for 20 minutes before I realized it wasn't the Dem debate. But what are they trying to sell us here?
I mean, well, they're trying to sell us their political power for another 4 or 8 years. I mean, that's really what this is all about. And I mean, even Cummins seemed to me to be saying that in a manner of speaking. And if you just take a look at the email discovery that has happened, there's 30 witnesses plus at this point that have been interviewed. The fact that we figured out 2 things about Hillary, that she completely, it's only one of 2 ways, Xander. She either completely did not care about national security, right, with what she did with her emails and her private server and all the rest, or she completely is really so dumb that she shouldn't be elected, certainly not to president. She should have never been Secretary of State. There's only 2 options there as far as that email server is concerned.
But isn't that something that the American voters need to consider when looking at presidential candidates? Their previous examples of what they've done in their job. Surely that's something that we need to consider in all of this.
You would really think so, wouldn't you? I mean, I don't know. It's enough for me to know that she said one thing to her daughter, Chelsea, about what happened in Libya that night, and that she said a completely other thing to the National Press Corps. She lied, and people died. And this has happened with the Clintons going back to the Clinton administration under Bill Clinton. They lied. People died. It happened again and again. And this is their modus operandi. And if people are okay with this level of corruption so that they can get their free stuff, then you know what? They should vote that way, because I think God has a special place for them somewhere.
Absolutely. Well, we come to the end of our time together, Dr. Gina. Thanks so much for joining us for the anniversary show.
Congratulations again to all of
Thank
you.
you.
So proud of you.
Tell people where they can find you.
Yeah,
tell people where they
can
find you on your show, what day it's on, and where they can see you.
Yeah, well, find me on social media at Dr. Gina. DrGinaShow.com is my website. And my show is on YouTube America, and we have a great guest once in a while named Xander Gibb. And it is called America Trends with Dr. Gina, and we talk about what's trending that way, and we try to tell the truth about it, and that's it.
Absolutely. So make sure you check out Dr. Gina on social media and on America Trends with Dr. Gina every day. You martyr, 5 days a week.
It is a little bit exciting every day, that's for sure. So
absolutely.
Thanks, Xander.
Thanks so much, Gina. Have a great weekend. Take care.
You too. God bless you all. All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye. That was the fabulous Dr. Gina Loudon and Anne-Marie Murrell, a.k.a. the PolitiChicks. Make sure you check them out on social media and make sure to tell them that Xander sent you. Oh, gosh, I am out of breath today. Where are we?
I know. Sorry about that, but I just thought American politics, and I thought I have nothing to say, kind of, because I don't know what's happening.
I'm sure you have lots to say to our next guest, Sarah Boyles, who's a comedian on social media, raconteur. Sarah is also a do-gooder, but unlike most do-gooders, she actually does a lot of good. She rolls up her sleeves and gets on with the task at hand. She pulls no punches, and she speaks her mind. That's why she is my kind of gal. So let's join me in welcoming back to the show comedian Sarah Boyles. Hello, Sarah.
Hi.
Hello,
Thank you for having me on.
We kept you waiting.
Oh, no, that wasn't bad at all. No problem.
So you're live on the 3-year anniversary show with myself and Tyhe. 3 years.
Happy anniversary. Hi, Tyhe.
Thank you.
How are you, darling?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm exhausted just listening to those three going on about politics. I'm lying down as we speak.
I don't blame you.
You better not be having a glass of wine yet.
I'm laying down, too.
I've actually, to be honest, I'd finished my glass of wine. I'm just wondering now because I do this through a laptop, and my laptop is Wi-Fi, and I reckon with one hand I can get to my fridge, pour a glass of wine, and get back. But I'm doing the show, so I'm going to
let's try out that theory. But while we do, I want to kind of take you back a little bit, Sarah, because you've been coming on the show for quite a long time, since its infancy, and you've been around kind of during some of the ups and downs. You've been a part of some of the ups and downs, but we got through it. Do you think that kind of, you know the analogy, what doesn't kill you make you stronger? Do you think that we're stronger as people for the diverse things that we've experienced?
Oh, for sure, definitely. And you know, not only that, it was your show that whenever I was, you know, facing a lot of hatred in my town, you would let me come on and just tell it like it was without being censored. So no, this show's definitely made me stronger. It made me realize that you know, as much as people around where I'm from would like me to think this is, you know, they are the ultimate deciders of things, coming on your show is a relief because it's like normal people. You're not from here. You don't hate me like a bunch. I don't know, just somewhat.
Not even a little. But what I am astounded by, Sarah, is that I referred to you in the preamble for your segment as a do-gooder because, and I mean that as a compliment because you do a lot of good, but you get a lot of crap for that. How do you deal with the fact that all these things that you're doing is selfless? You're not doing them to get yourself more known or even to publicize yourself, but people in your locality, certain ladies that lunch that need a smack in the face, take
or a
pleasure.
Dick. They might just need some dick.
Apologies to our listeners who might not like that analogy, but she is right.
It's not just me, is it? See, this is what I love about Sarah. It's not just me that brings this show down to where it needs to be. Frankly, there we go.
I think they need it. I tried to get a donation going for just some fingertip vibrators for all of them because I thought it would help. I was just trying. I'm a do-gooder, like you said.
We could start a fund there. So I'm sure there's a fund. There's a Facebook page there just screaming to happen.
You know what? I bet there's one by the end of the day.
I don't know if Tyhe. I don't know if you've seen some of the things that some of these women have said to Sarah, but I'm not violent, and I want to fly to where she lives and kick their butts. I really do.
Yeah,
well, I have people now. Sorry, I was just going to say my friend, because Sarah, we're friends on my personal Facebook page. Obviously, it's not my kind of fans Facebook page; it's my personal one. And my friends now they really realise who you are, follow you intently on my Facebook page. So there's quite a lot of people know who you are now in the UK. So it's quite funny.
Oh, that's cool. Well, that makes me happy. Yeah, and that's the thing. You get away from small towns and you realize what's really going on. But most of the people from my town, like you said, Xander, the women that talk and say the awful things they say about my family and myself, they've never really left this area. They would never even consider talking to someone from a bigger city or even talking or telling the truth about the town they're from. I will tell the truth about where I'm from. They cover it up, They wanted to hide, as you know, that we were number one for suicides. I was the person who said, no, let's not hide it. We should probably do something about it now. It's silliness. It's the same women that bash me are the same women that will never leave. It's just they're happy in hell.
Doesn't it get to a point where it makes it even more crazy? Is where you recently did an event to highlight the fact and to remember the people that had committed suicide in your area. People just kind of try to better it, not because they want to highlight the suicide, but because they want to compete. I mean, what are they putting in the water in North Salem?
I don't know
Salem?
What. North Salem? It's not even big enough for that.
Yeah, my sister lives in North Salem down the
road.
Fine.
That's just funny. We're just shithole Salem. No, I don't know why they tried to. I don't know why it became a competition. What's sad is I think it's because the paper came and covered me doing it in a few radio stations, and then because I ran for mayor and I showed the side boob, which I will never live down, they just can't stand that I did something nice. They can't accept that maybe I have great side boob and a great personality. They hate that. So
you see, what you went wrong, Sarah. You should have showed the whole boob, and then you would definitely be mayor now.
Well, I'm next election. If my boobs are holding up, hopefully they are.
See, maybe that's a campaign. Right, Sarah, here you go. I've just got this into my... No, we can just spitball. I'm just working this. So the next campaign, okay, you walk into the room, you whack both boobs onto the table and say, see these puppies? They're going to save somebody's life.
I'll do that. That sounds reasonable and like I won't be thrown in jail.
Yeah, well, that could be the opening of the campaign video.
Oh, well, yeah, video, I can do that. They can't get me for that so much. Yeah. I can maybe put some little hearts on my...
Have you seen any of Sarah's videos, Tyhe? I mean, occasionally when I'm feeling a bit fed up, I just go to Sarah's Facebook page and watch the videos, and I pee myself with laughter because her shit is so funny. I mean, I'm not saying it just for the sake of it, but it's really funny stuff.
No, seriously, there are people, my friends now, because originally, at first, people like Lee, and that will mean nothing to you, Sarah, but to Xander, but people were, because at first when Sarah came onto my Facebook page, they misunderstood her humour, and they hadn't listened to the show, and thought that Sarah was being a bit redneck, and I had to explain. I was like, no. Sarah's a friend from the show. We are both attacking Salem, and we are attacking. And they were kind of, oh, all right, I get it. And then started kind of paying posts on my Facebook page. So quite a lot of people now are on my Facebook page.
I would never like to be called a redneck. Ouch.
No, I'm using this analogy for people, for people.
Oh
who
no, I know.
I
just want to.
But now a lot of people on my page, a lot of my friends and friends of friends now read your posts on my page and watch the videos and interact with me about you. I don't know if they've come up started following Twitter or not, but yeah, so a lot of my friends now are very aware of who Sarah is and what she does and her campaigns.
Well, that's
and things.
awesome.
But Sarah, the funny thing about social media is, Tyhe took a sabbatical from the show because he had work-related stuff to do, and a couple of times, because Tyhe and I have been friends for over 25 years, and we don't agree on everything, which is wonderful. That's what keeps friendships alive. That don't have to agree on everything. Tyhe and I are fighting. Tyhe and I have fallen out. We were disagreeing about something on Facebook yesterday. So obviously, Tyhe and I are not friends anymore, which I think is absolutely hilarious. Social media has this way of telling you how your life is. I mean, nothing could be further from the truth. It would take a blowtorch to separate Tyhe and I now, or a really hot guy.
Well,
but we don't fight over guys either, do we, Tyhe? We say he's either yours or mine, or
Yeah, we pop dates in the diary.
It's so sad that people judge post on Facebook, though. That's because I write the worst stuff. I just wrote about my uncle trying to have sex with me. That's a total lie. But I know that there's people right
your
now
uncle tried
in
to have
Salem.
Sex with me. That's not news, Sarah.
Well, he gets around. But, I mean, I know there's people saying, oh, my God, Sarah has sex with her uncle, instead of actually reading it and seeing that I'm just being stupid. And like I'll say, well, I'm going to go watch my lesbian porn for the next 24 hours. I know that people really think that's what I'm doing. I can maybe dedicate 16 hours a day to that. There's no way I could do 24. It's just my hand.
People forget you're a comedian, Sarah. People are so stupid sometimes. You have to point out that you're joking. Somebody private messaged me the other day and said, I'm so sorry that they canceled you singing on New Year's Eve with Ed, whatever his name is, the singer. I was like, it was a freaking joke. It was a joke, Ed Sheeran, that's his name. I joked about that.
Oh, that bastard! I'm sorry he did that to you, Xander.
Yeah, I know it's terrible. Tyhe's gonna wait. The guy's doing a concert in Glasgow next week. He's gonna wait outside the dressing room door and piss on his gig bag for him.
Wow! I want pics.
You see, that's friendship. That's friendship for you. But people do take everything so seriously on social media, and I think even when you are a comedian and you're known for saying funny things, people still get, duped by it.
Yeah, nothing you can do. I mean,
go, Sarah. Go.
I was just saying, there's nothing you can do about it.
There isn't. And I don't apologize for it anymore because I'm not responsible for your level of gullibility.
Exactly.
Tyhe and I are trying for a baby by mail, but we've not been very successful. I mean, you're laughing, but people will believe that kind of stuff. They really will. So we're coming to the end of our time together, Sarah. I want you to tell people what you're doing right now. And what your next project is. I know you're going to be doing something for the TV show. And and tell them where you can find you on social media.
Right now it's the lesbian porn still. But if they want
to... Are you starring or watching or both?
It's the finger vibration.
Both. I'm doing a little bit of both right now. Anyway, okay, I have so many... My mom's going to listen. I have to stop. Okay, now, to see me on social media, you want to go to Pornhub. No, you want to go to... it's at Boyles _S on Twitter, and then just Facebook Sarah Boyles.
Absolutely. And you will be... You're working on a segment, aren't you, for Xandermonium TV also, so we got that to look forward to.
I may get shot, and yes, I am.
Don't worry, if you get shot, we'll still show the segment.
Okay, thank you. Do some sad music or something.
We will. We'll play the Benny Hill music in the background.
Okay.
We'll write a song for you.
That sounds great.
I don't know what
Oh,
we'll
to Sarah, queen of lesbian porn.
Please,
Yeah.
my mom would love that. She really would.
I think she would. Well, give our love to your mom and your fabulous family, and say a fabulous hello to your son Isaac for me, and tell him Uncle Xander says hi. And
I definitely
we hope you
will.
come and join us again very soon, Sarah, because you don't come on often enough. And it
I
was
will.
a pleasure talking to you once again. Thank you so much.
Happy 3 years, guys, and I will talk to you soon, Xander.
Thank you very much.
Lots of love.
Take care, Sarah.
Bye, Ty.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye,
guys.
honey. Bye.
That was fabulous comedian Sarah Boyles. Make sure you check her out on Facebook and Twitter, and don't take her seriously. Remember, she is a comedian.
Well, you can take it seriously sometimes.
Yeah, but not too often because she's a comedian. So Colton Ford is our next guest. He is an actor and a singer and a songwriter and has been a constant supporter of our little show. He's got a lot to share with us today, and we are honored to get to play for you songs from his upcoming unreleased album. So while we make sure that he's got virtual champagne in the virtual green room, I'm trying to find a song. We're going to play for you one of Colton's songs. This is called Never Walk Away, and it goes a little bit like this.
Who's gonna try and take it away? Well, the sign said it's time for him to get it, time for me to let him get up and walk away. I never walk away from you, and baby, don't you know I wouldn't walk away, never walk away, never walk away. Now never walk away, never.
That was Never Walk Away by the fabulous Mr. Colton Ford. Welcome back to the show, sir. And let me ask you, first of all, is there any truth in the rumor that song was written about Tyhe?
Honestly.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, that would
Sure,
be get away from me, surely, wouldn't it? Don't, Colton, do not play don't play up for him.
Tyhe is my inspiration for every song I write.
There you go, Tyhe. You heard it. You heard it here first. So how have you been? What have you been up to? I know you were in a play. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I did a play earlier this year about a gay couple, so it was a real stretch. And just kind of a slice of life with regard to, you know, the dynamics of their relationship and how they're experiencing and moving through the issues that arise with those dynamics. One of which was one character was HIV positive and the other character was HIV negative, and one character was older and the other character was younger, and one character came from money and the other character didn't come from money. So just, you know, all the different challenges that they faced maneuvering through those differences in their experiences. So it was really fun to get back into something dramatic. And in addition to that, I've been working on my new record, Free Yourself, which is going to be, is really the most organic record I think I've done. And it's R&B, soul, kind of going back to my roots.
So is this, Colt, sorry, I was going to ask you as well, is this the same producer you work with with Another Chapter, or is this a different producer?
No, these are different people. My co-executive producer, who I wrote several songs with on the record, is Larry Peace, who, among other things, has been Prince's DJ remixer of choice for the last 25 years. Another collaborator is Eric Griggs, who did Nowhere by Jordan Sparks and Chris Brown, and he was one of the creative forces behind Dreamgirls. Producer by the name of Chris Castagno, Grammy Award-winning producer. Let me see if I get the bio correct, but he and I have been working together for years. He and I did Realize on The Way That I Am album. And then my oldest friend, Ron Schrader, and I have written 2 songs for the record, and he and I did All My Love and Alone on The Way I Am. And then I also did a couple tracks with Eddie J. Free, who's another great remixer, producer. So, you know, a couple people from my past and a couple brand new people that I've been collaborating with over the last year and a half, 2 years.
So that's good. Yeah. So that's going to be really interesting. Because so everybody listening knows I'm a huge fan of your music, so there's no point dribbling about. But I love The Way I Am album, as you know. I love Tug of War as well, but The Way I Am is my favourite album. Although, of course, Another Chapter moved it completely on, which is what you wanted to do. So there's a lot. So that's going to be. So I'm really looking forward to this, because I know you're going back to the R&B, but But obviously, there's a lot of people you work there with, who from The Way I Am, which I know you always have the R&B in the background, but the Way I Am still had the big dance influence there as well, didn't it? So that's going to be quite interesting.
Yeah, and this song is more moody. I mean, this album is more moody. It's more adult contemporary. There's a couple up-tempo tracks, but primarily there's a lot of mid-tempo and ballads, and a lot of different flavor. I mean, we've got kind of like the 90s R&B groove in there. We've got some old school shit. We've got got some up-tempo stuff, like I said, and I think what we're going to do is do 2 releases. One is going to be the new record. The second release, which is going to be a deluxe release, is going to be the new record, plus there's going to be 5 or 6 house remixes that are done by Larry Peace and Quentin Harris, who I did the Tug of War album with. And according to Quentin, there's a couple of remixes from my Tug album that I haven't even heard of that we're going to put in this deluxe set. So it's gonna kind of bridge the gap, and one of the other reasons we're doing this is that I'm shifting from using Colton Ford to using my real name, which is Glenn Sukefian. So with the deluxe release, there's gonna be 2 chapters. The second chapter will be house remixes, and that will be under Colton Ford. The new album's going to be under Glenn Sukefian.
So that's going to be the big, I suppose the big question or the big point of this evening. It's all bigs today, isn't it? Is why that move after this amount of time from Colton Ford, which is obviously it genuinely is a worldwide name, but Colton Ford is known the world over. To now decide to go to your birth name. What made you make that decision?
Well, I think a lot has transpired over the last couple of years. I mean, I'm one of which is I'm in my 50s. I left my man. Yeah, I'm in my. I just turned 53.
Happy birthday, girl!
Thank you, honey. I left my management company a year ago. I mean, right now I'm doing what I want to do. Bottom line.
Good.
And I just feel Colton Ford has served me. I'm certainly not, just for the record, I'm not running away from anything. I'm not avoiding anything. But it just feels like it's in my past. And where I'm at right now is to be completely organic, completely honest, and not really be facilitating any facade, even if it's good business. I'm at a point where it's like, fuck it. I want to do what I want to do, and people who don't support that, I respect that, but I just don't have time. I don't have time. So,
I think the interesting thing is that what will always speak for itself is talent, and when you're talented, whatever you call yourself, for me, it's kind of secondary. What speaks for itself is always the talent. And I think if you're good at what you do, that will always speak through, whether you call yourself whatever,
Right. Well, and this is what I've done all my life. I had 2 deals with Virgin in the 90s. I had a deal with Third Stone Atlantic. I had a couple deals. I mean, this is what I've done. So all the naysayers that are still saying, well, he can't sing, he should go back to second cock, I'm over it. I'm like, you know what? Take all of that and have a good time with your sorry ass life, because I don't have time to negotiate that with that anymore. Yeah. I'm not. It just doesn't. It doesn't matter to me anymore if you think that I can sing or not. If you don't think I can sing, then just step the fuck out. Don't listen to my shit.
I have to say, it's an unfortunate thing in our community, but there is a lot of jealous queens out there. And I think even today, even just this is our 3rd anniversary of the show today, and we've had a lot of shit talked about us. We've had a lot said. We've had lots of attacks. But, we've got on and we've got through it, and we have prevailed. And I think it's sad that our community does not back us up and get behind us, whether we say or do what they agree with or like all the time. Let's face it, it ain't going to happen. We don't live in La La Land. And I think that this community needs to come together and support people regardless. And I'm sad that they don't.
I agree with you. And let's preface this by saying that there are plenty of people out there that do support us, because I don't want it to be a situation where in really recognizing that we as a gay community still haven't figured out how to really support one another. In addressing that, we also have to recognize that there are a lot of people out there that do, and I am grateful for that support. It has inspired me and kept me going. But I'm a strong-ass motherfucker. You're not going to take me down by calling me names or saying that I can't do something that I know that I can do without even thinking about it. I write all my shit. It's like, fuck you. Just take your shit, take your hate, and project it someplace else because, I'm rubber, you're glue. What you say to me bounces off me and sticks onto you. I think you just get to a point in life that that you really, I really don't care whether people like me or not. I don't care. You don't have to like me.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going
to do what I'm going to do, and I'm going to satisfy myself first, because especially in this entertainment world, and no one knows what the fuck's going to happen. There's so much to it that's out of our control and that's truly bizarre that we just have to let that go. But at the core, I do what I do because I love what I do, and if I'm satisfying myself in the process, then I'm putting that good energy in it, and anyone that picks up on it and identifies with it, great. Anybody that doesn't, that's cool too. But at the end of the day, I can walk away saying, you know what, I took good care of myself in the pursuit of what it is that I'm trying to do. So it's a very liberating, free place to be, and I just feel like, I going by Glenn Sarkisian just really establishes everything that I'm talking about doing, which is being authentic and in the moment and being true to myself. This record, I haven't had to consider anybody. I haven't had to consider management. I haven't had to consider producers who had a different vision of what they wanted the tracks to be, or maybe a different vision of what they wanted to do with me. I haven't had to think about any of that. The people that I've worked with, they've given me the tracks. I've written the top lines, recorded all the vocals. They love and support it, and it's a wonderful, cohesive, reciprocal experience, and it's been brilliant. So, I don't really step in and create any kind of thing around it that isn't organic and reflective of where I'm at today. So that's a long answer to a short question. That's why I think the timing of it is right.
And can I just say, Colton, it's not like you at all to have a very long answer to a question.
I know, it's stepping outside of my comfort zone, but I figure I might as well now that I'm 53.
Take your time, honey. Just take your time.
I think that independent artists are now coming to the forefront of the music industry, and I think that all three of us are kind of in similar positions. We've all had management and stuff in the past, and I think that interferes with creative vision. And I'm managed by my own management company now, and that has enabled me to be a lot freer. Do you think that has done that for you too?
Oh, well, absolutely. I mean, I needed to take a break. I have had a bunch of managers through my 33 years of doing this, and I just needed to take a break, recalibrate, and determine what it is that I wanted to do. I had a specific and have a specific idea of what I want to do and where I want to go, and that wasn't in alignment with the people that were supposed to be representing my best interest. At least I didn't feel it was, and that was really the catalyst for me to say, okay, this relationship has run its course. I don't want to negotiate with anybody what key I should be singing in or what style of music I should be doing. I'm going to do the style of music I want to do, and I'm going to sing it in the key that's right for me. Get out of my fucking way. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's been liberating. Once the record comes out, I'm looking at possibly talking to a couple different people about working together. But at this stage of the game, it's really got to be something that is facilitated in tandem with my vision and what I want, not to accommodate anybody else because I haven't sold 1 million records. You know what I mean? I don't care. I don't care.
Well, I know I can speak for Tyhe also here in saying that we're both available for duets should the opportunity arise. In fact, I think we should do a song with all three of us. Oh, we should do a version of It's Raining Men. What do you think?
I think that would be fabulous. But much to what you were saying earlier, I think especially if you've been in the business for a long time, I mean, you can understand why people get jaded and pissed and irritated and all that kind of good stuff. And I think those of us that are doing this independently and really staying true to ourselves and what we're trying to do really need to come together and support one another. And it's an unfortunate thing that we as the gay community haven't figured out how to really get behind those people that are trying to do something.
Right.
I think it's really sad, and some of it I think just is my observation, having done therapy for many years. A lot of times when you're not following your heart and following your dreams because of fear, because you've been told not to, and you see other people doing it, there is the opportunity for that to turn into resentment and anger, and to have that projected, as opposed to like looking beneath that particular feeling to what the root feeling is. And generally speaking, it's usually pain, of sadness, loss. The anger is just, what sits on top of that. So for whatever reason, we haven't really, as a group, figured out how to come together. And I don't know what the answer to that, or the resolution to that would be.
I think it's going to take a long time now, because particularly now our society is changing so quickly, because now we can get married. Laws change so much, freedom has changed so quickly. I think that the gay nation, we can't call it a community. We're far too big as a community, but we're far too small. I see a lot of chaos coming, and there are a lot of, gay people hating gay people at the minute, which is really scary. And it's all kind of becoming very introspective, but it's all becoming a bit of a time bomb. So I think, unfortunately, it's going to get worse before it gets better. I agree, and I see this even with people hating on couples that are happy. If you're not happy in your life and you haven't found love, and someone's getting married and living it, and you're like, fuck you, fuck them. There's just that reactiveness that comes from doesn't come from a place of reason and intelligence. And it's really not attractive. It's an ugly part of our experience that I'm sad that we're still dealing with, and are.
I think
and just because we're more visible out there. Go ahead.
You're absolutely right, and it's totally imperative that we rise above it, because I think that when we don't, it actually starts to eat us away. I think personally, I think I carry on in spite of what others say, do, and think, not because of,
Right.
Because I think for me, I have to grow and leave that all kind of behind, and because if I don't, it eats away at what I'm trying to do, and I can't afford for that, really, just from a personal perspective.
Well, and the other thing too is that you don't want to stay in that. There's nothing joyful about it, and for me, it's like I want to do things that make me happy, and I want to work with people that when we're working, I'm feeling that sense of joy around the work that I love to do so much. So, you know, when I don't have those feelings, then it's time to take a step back, regroup, and make the necessary changes in order to get myself back into that alignment. And I think that's you know, that's one of the gifts of living for a while. I also think that it's something that, you know, when you get to a certain place in your career and you understand the business enough to know that, you know, in many respects you're playing the lottery, and it's not really influenced by how incredibly gifted you are or you aren't. That there's a lot of stuff that comes into play that doesn't have anything to do with that. I think at the end of the day, you got to do you, and you got to do what it is that's getting you off, and be okay with whatever comes of it. And I think that was a hard thing for me to get as an artist for such a long time. You get, you know, signed, and you get, you know, your hopes up, and you visualize, and you believe, and you think it's happening, and then the rug gets pulled out from underneath you. It's no fault of yours, and you're like, what the fuck just happened? You know, you go through that enough cycles that you either pull out and say, I'm done because the quality of life doing this is not good for me, or you kind of regroup and get back to the basics. Like, what is it that brought me to do this in the first place? It's the love of doing it. I love entertaining. I love writing music. I love singing. I love acting. So, you know, it's all of that joy that I did when I was younger without thinking about the business of entertainment that, you know, I have to kind of get back to and circle around back to when I go through these difficult experiences. And now that I'm older, you know, I do that in the moment. So it doesn't
because
take me
we all
out,
do, don't we? Let's face it. We all go through those periods, and then we have to regroup. And because for some people, evolution is kind of a dirty word, but I think it's essential. You know, not just as a human being, but also as an artist, to evolve. Because if you don't evolve, you're not really reflective of your real aims, are you?
Well, and I also think you have to evolve just because you're evolving as a person. So, you know, who I am today as an artist is not who I was 10 years ago. I mean, just by virtue of the fact that I'm not the same person I was 10 years ago. So I'm going to bring something different to it now because it's today and not 10 years ago. And I think if you don't, then you get stagnant, and then you're uninspired, and then it's kind of like, okay, it's time to move on. I have plenty of friends that are amazingly gifted artists that have moved on, and I understand why. You get to a point where the bullshit is just like, okay, you know what, I'm just not going to play this game anymore. There's just so much bullshit, and a lot of people's focus are on the wrong things, and I'm not interested in those things anymore, and you know what I mean? So I understand why people pull out and do something else.
That's exactly what I did. That's exactly what I did, Colton. When I left London originally, I walked away for 8 years. I literally did not sing a note for 8 years. Just walked away and went, fuck, I've had enough. I've done you. They sucked the life right out of me, and I just stopped for 8 years.
Well, I think for me, that what I've realized, because I'm doing other things as well that interests me in a balance to what I'm doing in my creative endeavors. One of the things that I realize now, and I've always known it, but I really have taken it in, is that, you know, I will always create. You know, whether I do it officially and release it, or I try and get some business going around it, who knows? But regardless of what the periphery is, I will always be the creative person that I am, and I will always be, you know, making music and performing where I can and where I want to, and that's not going to be dictated to me by the business of entertainment. And I think, you know, that's also another freeing component, because when you're in the mix and, you know, you're releasing shit and you're getting on the charts and you're trying to get gigs and press, and I mean, you're in this kind of like fevered pitch kind of thing, and it's all about getting everything where you want it to be. And after a while, I think it's easy to kind of get sick of all of it. It's like, oh my God, if I have to like think about Colton Ford one more second today. But that's where I think you take a step. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it's almost like you separate yourself. It's like you're promoting a function water, or or this iPhone. It's like you separate yourself from it, and it's like all consuming, and and then you deal with the realities of the business, and everyone's figuring it out as they go. There's no template here. There's so many random things that come in that could influence how things evolve and move, and a lot of stuff is out of our control.
Well, totally.
It's an oddity.
I thought as a writer, when I published the first book, I thought, oh, that's nice and safe. It's quite anonymous, isn't it? Nobody knows what an author looks like. Nobody cares. Huge mistake.
Yeah.
I'm haunted by people demanding the second book now. So now I have, because obviously as a writer and a musician, I'm TP Egar, not Tyhe Egar. So I laughed then, because I'm like a TP Egar. Oh my God, do I have to get into this again? So it is a bizarre. It's a bizarre place, because as a writer, when you're writing the book, the characters get into your head, and you can't sleep because suddenly a character has something to say, and you have to write it down, and it gets a bit surreal,
The scariest thing for me is, go on, sorry.
No, go for it.
I was just going to say the scariest thing for me is that when you're doing your grocery shopping at 3 a.m. in the morning in a grocery store, looking like shit with your hair tied back, and somebody comes up to you and says, "Are you so and so and so and so?"
Right. Well,
I'm like, no, I get this all the time. No, I'm not him. I'm actually the guy from Lost. Which is my standard answer.
I relate that to right now I'm listening to mix downs of the tracks, and generally speaking, if I'm busy throughout the day, I do it in the evening, and then I go to bed, and I can't stop the song from playing in my head. Just shut the radio off. But I think one of the things that people who are behind you, your fan base, do is they give you that inspiration, and they give you that nudge when you're feeling like, do I want to do this anymore? Do I want to play in the waters anymore because I'm tired of getting wet? But I think, at the end of the day, it really is about whether or not you want to do it. If you want to do it, then you do it. If you don't want to do it, then people just have to respect that's where you're at with it.
Absolutely. That is wonderful advice.
It's really it's really about who you're taking care of. So, there's codependency in everything. You don't need to be codependent to your fan base. You can be appreciative, loving, grateful, but you don't have to take care of anybody but you. And in taking care of you, then it plays out to everybody. You know what I mean? It speaks to everybody. It has fingers that extend out into people's lives, and that's the power of, I think, art, and especially when it's organic and something that's based in something real. I think that's what speaks to people, and hopefully that's what will, much to what Xander was saying, that's what will hook them. Not a name, not a past, not any of that bullshit, but just really being moved.
Doing what you love.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Except when you're having it works until you're having a conversation with a fan who's telling you how your characters should work, which is a different.
Oh, I know.
Which I did last week with somebody telling me how one of my characters should go. But
and everybody has an opinion, and everyone's entitled to their opinion. I just, sometimes I have to chuckle at people's balls, like that person really thinks that you would be cool with in telling you how the character should be developed.
I know.
It's your fuck out of my room.
I know.
And obviously, I was
you,
joking at the beginning when I said, was that song about Tyhe? But I've had people, I'm sure you've had this too, where people say, "What did you write that song about me?" And I'm like, yes, of course.
Yeah.
Every song on the album is about you, or every character that I've written is about you. Where do these people get it from? You know, where do these people get the chutzpah to
ego,
say,
isn't it?
is that about me? Because quite clearly, no, it effing wasn't.
Well, I mean, I think we live in a land of narcissists, so it's not out of the ordinary. But I think for most songwriters, I mean, you're writing about personal experiences, you're writing about observations, you're writing about fantasies, you're writing about stories that you may have created in your mind. And,
yeah.
I mean, it's a whole a bunch of different things, and certainly there are songs in this album that are out of my personal experiences, and there are songs that are more observational. There are songs that have pieces of experiences that I've expanded on in different ways that weren't what I had experienced beyond just the material. So, it comes from a lot of different places, but, unless, we know each other, really know each other, I'm probably not going to be writing about you.
No, of course.
I'm disappointed now, really I am. I thought that all of the songs were about me.
This
I did want to have an ex. Go on.
What's that? I was going to say, this song is about a barista that I met at Starbucks on Santa Monica Boulevard.
I did. I did have an ex once in lunch. Xander, I think Xander and I were singing together, but I did have an ex once say, have you ever written a song about me? And I said, if you ever hear a song of mine called Wank Stain, you'll know it's about you. And that was about as far as I got about it.
Listen, we are coming to the end of our time together, but I want you to promise us that you'll come back on to promote your album when it's going to be released. But tell people where they can find you on social media.
My usual spots, Facebook, it's Colton Ford Music, and Twitter is Colton Ford Music. I need to find out how that whole thing would be transitioned if I am able to transition those social media pages to my real name, or do I have to start up a new page and tell everyone to come on over? Or I'm still figuring all that out. But
no idea.
The usual, yeah. It's kind of a question that I don't think many of us have addressed. But I'm gonna approach Facebook because I have a nice chunk of people on Facebook that I'd like to just keep.
Oh, Facebook. Facebook's really easy, Colton. Facebook's really easy. You just simply change your name because my surname changed from Edmonton to Egar because I changed it. It's my mother's maiden name, basically, Egar, and that's really easy. So you're not going to have a problem with that.
Oh,
cool. I just don't know how you do Twitter.
Well, Twitter's, I'm more interested in Facebook anyway. But so I could keep the same page and just change the name on the page.
Just change your name. Yeah.
Brilliant.
You might want to check a little bit deeper with Facebook because I notice you're validated, which is amazing because normally they only validate you with like your given name. So they validated you as Colton Ford, so it shouldn't be a problem to change it.
Well,
you should be absolutely fine.
I mean,
there's obviously some queen in the office that's a fan of yours, and you'll be fine. You know.
So wait a minute. I've been validated all these years, and I didn't know.
I don't know if you've always been validated, but you are definitely validated on Facebook now.
I feel so much better about myself. Thank you, guys.
You see what happens when you come on our show.
Well, I'm not validated on
Facebook.
I'm not validated on either Facebook or Twitter, but I'm validated by God, so who cares?
There you go. I'm validated by myself, so whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. The album's going to be coming out probably late November, early December. So once I get the release date, I'll let you guys know. I would love to come on and talk more about it.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. Well, maybe we can get you on the TV show too. That would be great.
I would love it. Well, happy 150th.
I know. I don't look bad
That's
for 150,
amazing.
Do I?
I can't even count that high. I think I stopped at 130.
With you being a young whippersnapper at 53 and I'm here at 150, it's like, you know, the world is my oyster.
Wait a minute. Did I say 53? I meant 35. I'm sorry. I'm dyslexic.
You inverted the numbers, didn't you? That's what you did. You inverted the numbers.
He's standing in a mirror.
Well, you certainly look very good for however old you are. But listen, thank you so much for joining us today. It's always a pleasure, and we always run out of time. Maybe what we need to do one time is to have you on for the whole show. How do you fancy that?
Just a whole special. Or no, it'll be a Glenn Stadium special. I'm on it.
Hey,
yeah.
Especially since I've been validated, I think you guys owe it to me. I really do.
I do.
I'm validated.
Okay.
Right?
I don't know who I have
out.
to sleep with to get validated on Twitter, but, you know, I'm there.
Well, I'm not going to give the secrets away. I'll tell you that. I've worked
What is that queen's name in the Facebook office that you got to validate you? I really want to know.
I'm pleading fifth. I don't know.
Did he used to work at Starbucks on the Hollywood Boulevard? It's the same one, isn't it? He said, if you plug me and write a song about me, I will get you validated.
Well, now you know. Shit, I shouldn't have said it.
Yep, you see, you've outed your Facebook connections.
Well, we talked about transparency. There it is.
Absolutely. It's all out there. But listen, thank you so much for joining us today. We always have a fabulous time with you. So make sure you keep your eyes out, people, for the new album coming from Colton Ford, a.k.a. Glenn Sukisian. Make sure you buy his album, because if you don't, I'm going to sleep with you. So you can guarantee it's going to be a hit now.
Well, I was going to say, and by the way, the album's called Free Yourself, so that's in alignment with everything we're talking about. But I would say if everyone does buy the album, then they too will be validated. See, it's that simple.
Okay.
You want to be validated? You want to be self-actualized? Buy the album.
For sure.
I feel a disclaimer coming on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, please, someone put it up quick.
Yes, we at Xandermonium are not responsible for the statements made by our guests, and we cannot guarantee that they will actually occur.
And our guest isn't responsible either.
No.
Well, you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much, and I look forward to our next full hour of conversation.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes, we'll definitely make that happen.
Show. Yes, the special.
Tyhe, did you hear that?
I did.
Tyhe, did you hear him? He's like, oh yeah, well, definitely. That was Xander. I heard that.
Don't worry. I will hold him to that. We'll have the Glenn Sukisian hour special Christmas.
Hey!
Yeah,
I suggested it.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
The show is recorded, you know. We can go back. I was the one that suggested it. So sit back down, Tyhe, the super fan.
Well, I was going to say, it's not like I'm going to disagree, is it, really?
No, of course not.
It sounded like you were reneging on that suggestion with that.
No, definitely not. No.
Mm-hmm. No, not at all.
I've got your phone number, and don't worry. When we're in LA, we'll be knocking at your door and demanding cake, sir.
Oh God. Well, all right, maybe a donut.
No, I don't do that sort of thing anymore.
Well, you know, Tyhe is anyone's for a donut, don't you?
Well, no. Listen,
imagine what he'd do for the whole box. This is descending into I don't know what, but listen, thank you so much for joining us today. It really was fabulous talking to you.
Now we're moving into saturated fats. I think we need to stop.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Coming back soon for the 1 hour special.
All right.
All right.
Well,
thanks a lot. It will, definitely. We will talk to you about it after the show, for sure.
All right, sweetheart. You guys have a good day. Take care.
You
too. Thanks for joining us. Take care.
Take care.
Bye. Bye, guys.
Bye.
That was the fabulous Mr. Colton Ford, also known as Glenn Sukisian. Make sure you look out for his upcoming album and make sure that you buy it, because I tell you, I've heard a couple of the songs from it. We've been honored to be able to listen to some of the songs from that album, and it really will be well worth buying. Well, we have come to the end of our anniversary show. Thanks to everyone that's been involved today. Thank you to Dr. Gina Loudon and Anne-Marie Murrell from the Politichicks. Thanks to comedian Sarah Boyles. Thanks to my fabulous co-host, Tyhe Egar, who puts up with me all of the time. Thank you to Mr. Colton Ford. Make sure you go check him out on Facebook and Twitter. What are we going to play out with today, Ty? What do you think we should play out with?
Well, I think, not to be a complete narcissist, although we were talking about them earlier, but I think we should play out with me. There you go. Well, farewell to alchemy. What am I saying?
Absolutely,
with the lovely
which is half
yes.
you and the lovely Neil. Neil will be coming back to join us at some point to talk about their upcoming album. But thank you to everybody that's been involved in today's show. Well, you're an old person, so you know that's absolutely fine. Thank you to everyone that's been involved in today's show. We will get there. Make sure you join us next week. Don't forget, Fridays at 7:30 on Charter Channel 192. And also live simulcast on XanderGibb.com for the TV show, Xandermonium TV. Make sure you join us. I love you all. Thanks from me for joining us today. Would you like to say your goodbyes, Ty?
I will. Farewell, adieu. Thank you so much for staying with us for 3 years with Xander and 2 years with me. It gets better all the time. And I'll see you in a couple of weeks in the cheap seats.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye.
And here's Gravity by Farewell to Alchemy. I love you all. Bye-bye.
Life, it has been good to me this time.